Good evening, everyone, and welcome to potentially a market recovery stream We are going to cover all the important charts tonight after a very eventful few hours, few days. Crypto just keeps on delivering some mad moves in the market. Bitcoin doesn't seem fazed by the recent chaos in the altcoin market. We're going to touch on that tonight. We're going to look at some important charts, which I think should paint a bit of a picture of what's going on across the market. We will do some altcoin charts for you all, as always, if we get time, but I think rather than just go through the same charts that we go through every night, what I want to do tonight is just show some things that have happened over the last 24 hours, why I am very bullish, and why it's just hilarious how much people are freaking out on X, on socials, people losing their mind over a little pullback. And then we'll talk about what's to come in the coming days. For anyone expecting Trump to walk into the Fed tonight and sack Jerome Powell, sorry to disappoint you, that's just never ever going to happen. But yeah, Trump's at the Fed building as we speak. I doubt anything's going to come out while we're on air, but if it does, we will update you. But let's dive into the chart. So Bitcoin still consolidating sideways since Friday the 11th. As we discussed last night, Bitcoin barely moved in the drawdown over the last 24 hours. We saw some altcoins get smashed like 14-15%. XRP was down at 303 at its lowest. Bitcoin barely moved, holding this channel very nicely indeed. Seen a bit of move up today. We got as high as $119,400. We still need to break out before anything is concrete. And I think I showed on the last stream that the target of the breakout takes us to where I kind of think we'll find a bit of a top in that $131,000 to $135,000 range. And from there, I think we could get quite a violent pullback once we get there. A lot of people still waiting on this pullback to 112k. Doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon, although never write off a weekend. As we approach the weekend, there is always the chance that we do get that move back down to 112k, but to be honest, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about higher. Let's cover some altcoins, and then there's some very important charts that I think will paint the picture of why last night was actually a really bullish retrace across the market. Let's have a look at Ethereum up today. Bounced nicely from the low. We're now up nearly 6% on the day. Ethereum pulling back into the $3,500 range. Pretty bullish in my eyes. On the weekly, you can see we're now putting in quite a bullish candle. XRP pulled back to this high here, which was the March high. If you remember what this mad candle up, candle down move was, this was the strategic crypto reserve. So yeah, wicked right off the top of these candles, which was also the support back in January. So yeah, a key level, and filled the fair value gap as well, which we spoke about last night on stream. It's actually filled two. So I actually filled this fair value gap and this one all in one move. So that is very nice. BNB, after putting in an all-time high, retraced sharply, and we'll cover some other charts that show the extent of the pullback, but also how strong the bounce was today. But I think if we look at, let's have a look at the total market cap, because I think that kind of tells the story. You look at this, so we put in a new all-time high for the crypto market back in December. Since then, we have retraced, and we're finally back up, breaking out to new all-time highs, and we tested back to this all-time high this morning, actually, after last night's dump. So for me, this, as long as we hold this level, this is a massively bullish back test the fact that it's happening so soon after breaking the all-time high, for me, is even more bullish, because it just means we don't have to worry about it once we do start climbing and see that move higher. Total 2, another bullish chart. So we retraced, and this morning we hit the 702 level. Anyone that follows charts in crypto knows the 702 is quite a stubborn level, and testing its support is very bullish. And then just to cap it off before we dive into some other stuff, USDT Tether has put in a new all-time high for its market cap. If you've been watching the streams, you've been following us, if you're in CC Pro getting the daily updates, you'll know that I've been talking about stablecoins for months, and why the Genius Act, although it's all about stablecoins, is massively bullish for crypto. And if you look at the stablecoin market cap, you can see it is flying right now as well. So loads of bullish momentum in the market. Bit of an annoying correction for all those that love up only. Hopefully it gave some people an opportunity to buy some more crypto. But yeah, I think we're looking very nice. I think we might have some more volatility over the next 24 hours, and then the weekend is the weekend. There's always some manipulation at weekends, and then next week I think we flip bullish again as we move into the FOMC. We won't get a rate cut next week, but what we will get is clarification on rate cut in September, and I think the rates will come down in September. So yeah, should be a bullish FOMC. If we look at this chart, so I've showed this a few times on stream. This trend line dates back to 2017. You can see it touches all the tops, and we have finally broke out of it. So this is an 8-year trend line that we have broken out of. How bullish that is just can't be overstated. We've broken out of it. We've tested its support. We didn't even back test it today in that crash. We actually tested it last week. So looking really bullish. This also looks like a massive cup and handle formation. The target for this is like a crazy high price if it's valid. I'm always suspicious of these massive trends, but the target takes us to here. So we slapped that target and we got rejected back. So we might see some consolidation at this level, but as we can see, everything is playing out basically like a simulation, which is very nice, and I think we'll see higher prices in the coming days. Looks like BNB recovering nicely as well after, I don't want to say it caused the crash, but it was literally the minute it touched all-time high, peaked here, started retracing, and the entire market fell away. Clear manipulation in my opinion. It was clearly exchanges flushing late leverage longs and shaking out the new retail people coming into the space to scoop up some cheap crypto before prices start accelerating much quicker. Last night, Vantage closed the pre-sale, so the pre-sale is now closed. We raised over $300,000, so thank you for everyone that took part. We are buzzing with the result, to be fair. The priority was doing a community round for CC Pro members. We achieved that. We sold that out in an hour, and then we did a public round due to massive demand, especially coming in through DMs. So we closed it last night. The fund is now active, and in about 2 weeks we will release our first monthly report on the progress of the fund, the performance, and we will keep everybody updated. If you want all the updates, CC Pro is the best place, but we will be bringing them to anyone that's not in CC Pro that is a token holder as well. Let's quickly go through some big news stories from the last 24 hours, and then we can dive into some charts. So if you've been paying attention, Ethereum institutional demand is just going through the roof right now. As you can see, Ethereum ETF inflows have been skyrocketing over the last 5 days, actually outpacing Bitcoin inflows. You can see massive demand. 602 ETH, 400 ETH, 296 ETH. It's just crazy how much Ethereum has been bought up by institutions and especially the ETFs. Here we've got Kobayashi letter talking about it as well. Spot ETH ETFs posted a net inflow of 533 million on Tuesday, fourth largest on record. So while price is starting to move, I think very soon we'll see a massive explosion for Ethereum. I think once we get through that $4,100 level, if I show it on the chart, you'll see it pretty clearly. $4,100 has been rejected twice and caused pretty serious pullbacks every time we've been rejected from there. You know, the first one we dropped 30%, followed by a deeper 50%. The second time, obviously, we crashed 67%. So this level is huge, this $4,100 level. We break that, then I don't think we'll stop at the all-time high. I think we will see some mad moves in Ethereum. There's clearly price suppression going on. There's clearly institutional demand, all-time high, and a lot higher. I think we get close to $10,000. I've seen predictions of $12,000. Not sure if we get there, but I do think we'll get close to $10,000 for Ethereum. Here we can see, you know, some more bullish news. We've already covered kind of stablecoin market cap, but huge moves there. And then I thought this one was interesting for everyone that loves Bitcoin. MicroStrategy has released another product. He tried to raise 500 million. It was so oversubscribed that he's increased it to $2 billion. And that's all going to be used to buy Bitcoin in the coming weeks. So just crazy amounts of money coming in. And if you're new to crypto, if you're new to Bitcoin, if you are new to investing, this is why we buy Bitcoin. The world debt number has now crossed $300 trillion, a new record high. You can see the steepness of the curve as well. And if you focus on this, you can see that US house prices are at the most unaffordable level in history, but only when they're priced in dollars. You price them in gold, they have never been cheaper. And I would imagine if you price them in Bitcoin, they'd be even cheaper. So that's why you buy Bitcoin, that's why you invest, that's why you hold assets, because fiat currency is melting like an ice cube. Speaking of gold, we still are below the all-time high for Bitcoin while priced in gold. We did put in a new all-time high in December. Since then, we've retraced. As you can see, we're creeping up on it again. And I do think the next time we will get a move to... I don't even know where to put a prediction on, to be honest. I think we'll get into the 50s. I don't see gold selling off. So this will purely be a Bitcoin move. I don't see gold having a massive retracement. I think it will correct a little bit because it's up so much in the past year. But yeah, I think next time Bitcoin breaks all-time high in gold, it will move pretty fast. And you can see gold still consolidating in this triangle. I think this needs to break in the next 24 hours to be valid. So interested to see what happens there. S&P 500 closing on another all-time high. Nasdaq, another all-time high. And the Russell 2000 did peak above this range today. Just fell back into it today. But there's a lot of talk in the States about deregulation. There's a lot of talk about rate cuts. The they all benefit small caps, the Russell 2000, and with that they will benefit altcoins and crypto. So interesting to watch. Circle down today, Robinhood kind of up, and Coinbase flat. So mixed bag, but stock market still putting in all-time highs, which shows there is still massive buying demand in the markets. Let's have a look at the chat. Let's see who is in. CCL asking for an Xborg update. Deck is revenge trading pump. Actually, that is a good point. I've got a couple of charts I want to show you. We're still buying Borg. I'm still buying Borg. I think Borg is... yeah, still think it's a massively undervalued token. Do you think we'll see a bigger August than July? Yeah, well, I think so, yeah. I think that could happen. I think that's what's probably going to happen. I think we'll see August being a bigger month for crypto. I think we could see a rotation out of tech stocks. So I think the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 is getting close to a top. Now, the one caveat I would say is this could consolidate sideways at the top for weeks. But if we put on the RSI on the weekly time frame, you can see we're getting close to overbought. On the 3-day time frame, we are now overbought. We've not been back at this level since July, and obviously July 2024 we dropped 17% after getting into these overbought conditions. On the daily, doesn't want to load, there we go. In the daily we are just about overbought. So that's for the Nasdaq. S&P will be very similar. Yeah, you can see what's interesting is the S&P on the daily is actually starting to put in a bearish divergence with RSI. So that means that momentum is running out, but price is still going up. That normally indicates that there's going to be a trend reversal. 3-day and the weekly, we're getting close to overbought as well. So I think we're getting close to a top in the stock market, but I think we will see a rotation. And I think what's going to cause that is a lot of what Trump's doing, a lot of rate cuts, the deregulation stuff that they're talking about. They're talking about AI, not subsidies, but grants almost for small companies. That's all to boost small business in the US. So I think once that happens, the Russell will break out quite fast. That's bullish for crypto. And we'll see flows from some of the big tech into the Russell, the small caps. Because ultimately, if you're buying for performance right now, how much more upside do you think tech stocks have got versus if you buy a small cap that's down 30-40% over the last 2 years? There's a lot more upside. The problem is it's been a very concentrated trade. The Mag 7 have basically been like a safety trade, but I think that could come to an end pretty soon. Maybe another 6 weeks or so, and then I think we see a top. And it's like what I've said before. I think September, the rate cut that's coming, I'm pretty confident that we're going to get a rate cut in September. I think that could mark a local top. I've said it before as well, just for tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists, but there's an eclipse around the FOMC, around the rate cut date in September, and the last eclipse, I'm sure, was a few days before the tariff drama, which marked the local bottom. So I don't know if I believe in that stuff, but let's put it out there. Why not? I mean, we believe in altcoins that are going to change the world and raise millions of dollars, and we buy them, so why not believe in some moon astrology charting? Deck mentioned the pump chart. I'm going to cover a chart in a second. So yeah, so to answer the question, Fraser, yeah, I think FOMC this week coming up will be bullish, and I think we'll see some big moves. We'll look at Flame on the chart. Don't really have an update. Jamie's loving the streams. Thank you very much. And why is the Russell and crypto correlated? Let me show you. It's basically correlated to Total 2, so the altcoin market. So, I mean, I don't know the official reason why, but they both benefit from the same conditions. So people that buy, if we could see, like down here, this is the monthly. Let me change it to the weekly. You can see it's pretty much very similar. We're at the top back here, top back here. We then dropped, traded sideways, dropped, traded sideways, pumped up. The Russell never really had this correction here, but we then made a new top in November, new top, it was December, and then we've retraced, put in a head and shoulders, and now we're moving up, same with the Russell. So the correlation is pretty strong. The reason is because people typically buy small cap stocks when the economy is a bit frothier, there's a bit more risk taking. Small caps are a bit more risky than buying like a Tesla. Okay, Tesla can move, is volatile, but long term, you know it's going to be a successful company. A small startup business with 10 employees that are building an AI company is a lot more risky. It's just the same as altcoins. They're a lot more risky than buying Bitcoin. So I added a chart because I wanted to show it on stream. So Hyper, so loads of hype around Hyper, pardon the pun, loads of volume through it. Yesterday, obviously, we got that sell-off, and then today it followed through. But if you look where it retraced right to this resistance level, basically from the start of July. It also fell short of the 200-day moving average, so pretty bullish. But as I was saying at the start, if you look across the market, Arbitrum retraced back to the 200-day moving average, closed above it. Looks like it could hold that level, hold the 200-day moving average. It wicked back off the breakout target from March as well, which is very bullish. And if we look at Chainlink came down to the top of the double bottom and is holding that. So yeah, looks very bullish for me. So this level was resistance, it's now support, but it was resistance. So yeah, I think Borg will put in a new all-time high. Yeah, I think it's pretty much loading an all-time high, if you want to put it that way. I think we need that retail kind of frothy, a bit more FOMO in the market. I don't think we've got there. I think that's why I saw people calling the top, oh, that's the local top, we're going to retrace, but there's nothing telling me that we're in that euphoric phase. Retail doesn't seem interested, like meme coins aren't going crazy. There's nothing telling me that we're in that frothy stage yet. What I did think was quite funny is if you look at metrics for, you know, kind of sensing that retail sentiment, we have been doing these streams, and if you look at the views on all our streams, all the bullish ones have loads of views, and then last night our stream when the market was crashing had very few views. So obviously people were really angry with the markets and didn't tune in, which is ironic because probably those are the times when you do need to pay attention and actually listen to someone talk about crypto, because it's so tough not to do the wrong thing. Codex Crypto asked about Tau. Let's have a look on the daily. Actually looks pretty strong compared to the rest of the market. It hasn't retraced as deep as the 200-day moving average. Didn't put in the double bottom like everybody else. So actually looks pretty bullish. Yeah, I think anything above 387 I would say is probably a level you want to watch, and 363 would be the downside target if it was going to keep dropping. There's just so many examples of charts in that crash last night and this morning that retraced to super key levels. You look at Solana, the breakout target of this downtrend, wicked off it perfectly. The top from that crypto strategic reserve announcement, wicked off it perfectly. It's just sheer manipulation in the market, and charts typically move back to key levels, and we saw that all over the place over the last 24 hours. AVAX, holding this candle top as support and staying above the 200-day moving average looks bullish to me. So the markets overall needed this correction. It probably reset quite a lot of indicators. Let's have a look at XRP. Let's have a look at the RSI. Yeah, massively overbought on the daily time frame, and we've crashed pretty hard on the RSI, and now we can go again, and we're still at 321. So yeah, I think it's just setting us up a nice cleanse. Let's have a look at Sushi. Yeah, massively overbought, retraced. Let's see what the 3-day was doing. Yeah, 3-day overbought for XRP, the most overbought since December when we also put in our peak. So yeah, healthy for the chart, healthy for the market, and it does also mean that when we do get that next retracement, everybody should be prepared for it. I don't really know what review you want me to give of Trump coin. It's down in the absolute gutter, but the problem with it is, who knows, like, it could go to zero, it could go to $100. I don't know if I'd be paying too much attention to it right now. It seems like all the hype's disappeared from it, all the speculation about it. I mean, it'll probably do well at some point. So I suppose if you hold some and you bought it down in these levels, you're pretty safe. I wouldn't trade it. I've saw people leverage trading meme coins. I wouldn't be doing that, but yeah, I suppose if you were buying it here, then what's the downside? It goes to zero. The upside is you do a 10x. It's not a bad risk reward, I would say. So yeah, looks all right to me. So Codex Crypto, I've said before, I think Bitcoin tops this cycle at just shy of 230, somewhere in the 220 range. When that'll be is up for debate at the moment. I'm still kind of wrestling with it myself. So, but I am going to do a stream where we do some targets for Bitcoin and what I think happens over the next 6 months. It might be a CC Pro members only stream, because we might tie it to profit taking as well. Inspect, you took profit, so nice. I assume you were buying in these levels here. If you were buying down here, then nice move. As long as you bought basically before the 9th of July, you're pretty safe. What are you up? 300%, nice. And do you know what? Everybody's going to, I can already tell that there's people sitting at home watching this stream saying, can't believe you took profit already, so early, blah, blah, blah. Profit's profit. You should take profit as soon as you hit a target, whether it be a price target, whether it be a dollar amount target that you want to make off a coin. So if you invested $1,000 here and your goal was to make 3 before you take your first profit, fine. Whatever you do, whatever way you do it, taking profit is the name of the game. So yeah, I think good on you, well done, congratulations. Make sure you stay like level-headed with it. Don't go chasing a meme coin with those profits. And yeah, I think next up you've got kind of that 4 cent level, and then my kind of the level I'm looking for a lot of altcoins is this November-December peak. I think when we get there, it wouldn't surprise me if we got close to that level when Bitcoin makes its next run. So if Bitcoin moves up to that 135k level, dominance continues to drop. So if we look at dominance, rolled over today after hitting the 200-day moving average. So hopefully that means that we've been rejected and then we start heading down. If we get into the kind of 55, 56% area for dominance, Bitcoin's at $131,000, then I fully expect us to be back getting close to these November, December levels. And from there, I think that's a good target to have in your head. I think that would probably mark a local top potentially. Let's see what Bitcoin dominance was back in November, December. Yeah, so that was the top for the altcoins, 55%. So yeah, that might act as support again. So we just need to see what happens when we get down to these levels, whether we fall through it or whether we hold it as support. One of the things I hear quite a lot, this is just a general investing finance thing, is you have to be agile in investing. You can't just have a theory and stick to it for life. You have to be able to adapt to changing market conditions, changing information. If Bitcoin starts to stall out, starts to roll over at $131,000, the altcoin markets, dominance is holding this as support, then it's probably a great time to take profits because you probably know the market's going to roll over. Even if your target's 150k Bitcoin, if you can see things and the data's there, you're not here to be right all the time, you're here to make money. That's the important thing. So I think people get stuck in trying to be right, try to be correct all the time. It's not about being right, it's not about being the smartest guy in the room, it's about making as much money as possible. And people seem to forget that. I see it all the time. Bitcoin dominance in 2021. Well, this is another interesting chart because if you actually look what we've just done, so let me take off the fib level for now. Let me take off this arrow for now. So we've broke below the 200-day moving average and we've tested it now as resistance, and we expect to follow through and fall much lower. If you look at what happened in 2021, this is exactly what happened. We fell, we reached a higher peak, so we were at 73% dominance in December 2020, but by the kind of the spring of 2021, we bounced and tested the 200-day moving average as resistance. Now we tested it a couple of times and then we dropped fast. So we ended up down as low as 39%, but it all came from this rejection from the 200-day moving average. We're in a very similar position now. We've put in our top, in my opinion. We've dropped. We're now testing it as resistance, and if we do get rejected from here from a dominance point of view, then we are going to probably drop quite fast. And yeah, I think very bullish for altcoins, bullish for the crypto market, and playing out very similar to 2021, which is nice. Let's have a look at some other questions. Is Tangem safe? I believe it is. I think somebody answers you further down. Tips on researching exchanges, what to check, liquidity. If it's me, what I would say is just focus on the top kind of 5 or 6 exchanges. Bybit, BitGet, Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, KuCoin, BloFin for trading. That's kind of all you really need. Maybe BitGet. Stay away from stuff like Gate, Bitpanda. Yeah, anything like that. But on CoinMarketCap, they show the exchanges. You can go to this and it shows you the average liquidity. So yeah, basically if it's not on the top like 10, probably wouldn't touch it. I only mention Kraken because it's one that Swissborg pulls prices from. It's pretty reliable. It's an institutional exchange as well. So top 10, including Kraken, I would say. thoughts on Polkadot? I think Polkadot looks pretty good. Wicked off this support level, this candle high from that downtrend as well. Needs to reclaim the 200-day moving average. I think I said this the other night. Once it claims that, then you could probably move pretty high. You see the December peaks 1166, so you've still got 3x just to that level. It's also the March high as well, so that's probably going to be quite a sticky area. But once you're through that, it's pretty much clear skies. 14, and then what you're talking 23, 24. So yeah, some pretty big moves, I think, for the entire space once we get through these kind of local highs. CRV, very bullish on CRV. Covered quite a lot. We've done quite a lot of chatting about CRV. Swing trade and CC Pro as well, still live, I believe. Looks like it's just consolidating before its next move, kind of penning out, a bit like Bitcoin in some regards. Just stalled here, dumped yesterday, recovered today, so really strong buy demand. Didn't get as low as the double bottom top, so potentially we get a retrace to 86.5, but it looks really strong. If I was predicting its next move, it's going to be higher, and it's likely to match this move. It's just the way charts work. So when it breaks out, the next target is probably something like 156. Maybe stop off, consolidate around the 132 level. But yeah, 156. Yeah, which is pretty much the target of that downtrend. You know, we're 1 cent short. So maybe it breaks out a little bit higher. Maybe a bit there. But yeah, this is your target. This has been your target since July 2022. 160, 158 area. I think it gets there pretty soon. And that will complete that downtrend move, which has been 3 years in the making. Yeah, Shiv, just type it in AI.
This is Get Physical Radio.
So XRP, yeah, XRP will still have a bear market. I don't like. XRP will still drop. Could we see it back down at these levels? 100% we could. Most altcoins will bleed 75 to 90% again, regardless of the utility, regardless of the adoption. Unless the cycle completely breaks and something changes. The only way, so I've said this a few times, and I could be completely off base, I could be completely wrong, but the way I see the crypto market moving is any token that's backed by a real business will do okay in a bear market. It'll still have a massive drawdown because all the capital flows out of crypto. That's what causes it. It's nothing to do with the token. It's to do with liquidity. We spoke about it the other night. The only reason all the tokens pump and crypto goes wild is because of liquidity. Well, it'll be the same at the end. It's just like a wave going in and out. The wave comes in, the water goes everywhere, liquidity goes everywhere, it fills all the holes, and cryptos fly. The same happens on the reverse. Liquidity flows out of crypto, and yeah, we'll see that again. The difference next bear market, in my opinion, is that anything that's backed by a business that has revenue, has a real business that doesn't rely on the token, could still do okay in a bear market. So yeah, XRP has Ripple, BNB has Binance, obviously, things like that could do well, and that's why we created our own project Vantage. That's the whole purpose. If anything, Vantage makes more sense in a bear market, because while all your altcoins are down 90%, earning you nothing except you're just watching red day after day, Vantage is still going to be earning you passive income every single month. So that's the benefit of a token like Vantage. That's why we created it, because when we looked at the bear market for altcoins, it started in November or December 2021. Realistically, the bear market only finished for altcoins in the last, we had a pump before Christmas, but most altcoins are still down massively. So in that whole time, you've earned nothing from your altcoin holdings. So we wanted to flip the script on that, and that's why we created Vantage. So I think some altcoins will do okay, but don't write off 90% corrections. Anyone telling you the altcoins won't crash because of adoption, because of Trump, because of whatever, don't listen to them, because I heard it all in 2021. And think of Bitcoin, the number one asset on the planet. Well, it still crashed to 15k, and that was with El Salvador buying Bitcoin and all the other stuff that went on with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can do this, altcoins can do much worse. Lewis is deep in Inspect. No, I wouldn't be all out. I won't be all out of crypto just because we hit the November top. What I was making, more the point I was trying to make was, it's a good area to look for the market to maybe have a retrace at that point, or at least skim some profits, because I know December the last time was an amazing opportunity. Like, you look at Solana, got as high, I suppose this was January, but we got as high as 295. Do you want to sit through something like this again? Probably not. So I just think look for key areas or key levels or key indicators that you can just act on. And I think if we get to those December highs, especially in coins you've been buying really low, then you should do pretty well. So she's always a good one to look at this. So the December high was 281. So if you were buying at 50 cents, that's still a 5, almost a 6x. That's not a bad place to be taking some profits from. I'm not saying sell 100% of your bag because you make a 5x, but you could easily take your initial out. You could take a little bit more just to chill. I think it all comes down to how good a job you've done in buying low. That's what the key factor is in all of this. We can set targets, we can set profit levels, we can set indicators for the top. Doesn't matter, because it all matters where you bought, what your goal is, and your risk tolerance. And you create your profit taking strategy based on those 3 key things. If you've got high risk tolerance, hold sushi and hold for all-time high. If you've got medium risk tolerance, hold it to $5. Definitely get to $5 this cycle. But for me, I'd rather have some cash in the bank, especially because Bitcoin is 120k. Like, we are quite advanced in the Bitcoin cycle. Ryan, just scroll back 10 minutes and you'll get it. Scott, can you cover the Quantoshi bot and when you think the Quantoshi team are turning on Ethereum? So I will get an update. So CC Pro members will drop an update, but one of the real challenges with Ethereum is it's just been so explosive that trying to catch a point to enter has been pretty difficult. If you didn't enter here, entering Ethereum's actually been really tricky because it's basically just taken off. So I think that's the challenge for Ethereum, but I'll get a proper update for CC Pro members, and we can drop it in Discord over the next couple of days for you all. I see quite a few new faces on the chat and in the stream tonight, so if you're not familiar, we have a private members group. We don't do ads on the channel, so we just talk some charts, some analysis, but if you want more daily updates, CC Pros are private members Discord. You get basically everything we talk about on stream, plus loads more, especially beginner stuff. I reckon there's a few people probably joining streams that are new to crypto. We've got a tutorial section, we've got a beginner section, so it makes life really easy for you. And if you don't know what Quantoshi is, it's our copy trading, where we aim to earn some passive income. So the link's in the description. I'll drop it in the chat as well. I see some new faces, so yeah, get involved with CC Pro. We do members only live streams as well, and if you are a bit more, you want a bit more personalized stuff, we have CC Pro Alpha. We've got a weekly live stream. We do alternative investments outside crypto. We do some things with setting you up in Dubai, and yeah, CC Pro is our private members community, and it might be a bit early to say, but I think our members are going to make a lot of money in the coming months if it's anything to do with us. So yeah, get involved, and we'll see you there. Let's have a quick check on Bitcoin, because we've not actually spent too much time on Bitcoin tonight. Just kind of up down day. Looks like we are kind of consolidating before a move. One thing's for sure, we will get a break of this range very soon. I think it looks bullish, but you know, Bitcoin can go against the crowd. For me, if we break upwards, we're targeting that 130k area. Downwards, 112k looks like the target, so pretty easy. I think the other thing that shocked me the most probably over the last 24-40 hours was most people were so taken aback by the retracement. I think you forget, when you see those green days, it becomes really easy to just become complacent and just expect it to go up forever. And we got that retracement, and everybody seemed to be expecting prices to just go on and up forever. There will be another retracement. I think the next one will be a big, deep 30% retracement. I think alts will get crushed, and then we'll maybe go into a blow off top, either Q4 or Q1, where we see just stupid, euphoric craziness. Uniswap doing well today. Lovely bounce. That would have been a nice catch. 9% on the day. Solana still trying to hold this level. I think if this breaks, we'll be at 260 pretty fast for Solana. I wonder if the pump token is having any issues with it, because the reason Solana ran so hard last year was because it pumped up fun, and then they've launched their own token and it's been pretty much a disaster. Down almost 60% since launch. It's not pretty. Looks like it could be trying to find the bottom, to be fair. I don't know who's going to rally it back up though. That's the problem. Looks like it could have found the bottom here. Any degens wanting to trade it? Right now, I think in times like this, it all depends on Bitcoin anyway. Bitcoin drops out of this channel. It doesn't matter what altcoin it is, what chart it looks like, it'll probably drop. So I think we need to have a bit of chill over the next 24 hours until Bitcoin makes up its mind. Could get some resolution tonight. I just don't buy that anything's going to come out of this meeting with Trump and Powell. Like, what's he going to do? Walk in and sack him? It's not how government works. Need monthly close above 124k for Bitcoin to go higher. Don't know if I really buy that. I think as long as it closes above 112, I think we look pretty bullish. 124k does nothing. There's literally nothing up there. Yeah, Ryan, to be fair, Solana ID. So Solana ID was a Swissborg alpha deal last August, September time. Don't know if it's on CoinMarketCap, if I'm honest. It's called Solid, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it has done crazy gains, but I think I'm still down on it, if I'm honest. Yeah, I'm still down on it. So, yeah, it's up nice in the last 7 days. It's up 342%, but still down 70% since September. So, yeah, it's a start. Chev was asking about liquidity on exchanges. You can look at this as well for any DEX tokens, so you can see what volume they're doing. That's normally quite a good indication as well. Yeah, to be fair, Solana ID, I mean, at this point I just buy most of the Swissborg alphas, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with it, to be honest. I'll take it. Any positive returns is fine. Nah, I mean, you can do, like, obviously it's really cheap, it's down massively, but I think there's better opportunities in the space that are a bit more, like, I still think Opulus is a ridiculous bargain. So something like Opulus, I think LimeWire's a good buy. You know, it's absolute crushed, but yeah, it's up to you. Do your own research. Someone asked me actually in Alpha the other day where I thought Bitcoin could retrace to in the next pullback. I would watch these CME gaps. So normally we fill them. We've not filled two now. So this one at 114k and this one at 92k. That would be absolutely brutal if we got to 92k, especially if we got as high as say 135k. We pull back. Let's have a look. To 92k, you're talking 32% pullback. That actually probably does make sense for what I imagine could happen. So yeah, interested to see what plays out. I still think we get a break above in the coming days. Yeah, Alvara, great buy. Mainnet's coming in 2 weeks. I think they've got a big announcement coming as well, which will please a lot of people. So, yeah. And we will definitely be taking part and making our own basket on Alvara as well. In fact, we might do one each. That might be quite interesting. And we can compete, see who follows who. But I think Alvara is such a cool product. I think it's amazing. And yeah, I think when the mainnet goes live, I think it'll be very bullish for the token. I think they've got a lot of marketing lined up. They've got a few other things as well, which will get released in the next week or so. And yeah, full steam ahead. Yeah, Lockie, to be fair, down to here. It would fill this one. Yeah, potentially. I feel like we're not overextended enough. I feel like we're not seeing that euphoric craziness right now for a 30% retracement. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think when we get to that 135k area, I think people will be just waiting for 150k. I think once we break $125,000, the natural next target's $150,000. So I think when we get into that 135k area, people will already be planning taking profit 150k. So the 30% retracement actually feels more like a surprise. You think of Ethereum, that's kind of what happened with Ethereum. If we look, hopefully I've left it on. I don't know if I have. But like we poked above here, and then when that pullback came in, it was actually more brutal because everybody thought we tested it in March, we tested it in December, we went back once again at the end of December, and everybody thought that would be the time we break it. And then obviously we reverse, and it just hurts more. It just crushes sentiment so much more than if it was expected. Ethereum looks pretty bullish. I would like to see us close above yesterday's candle open, so above kind of 3,750. I think if we closed above 3,750 tonight, we'd be mega bullish, and then we'll fill that wick over the weekend. I don't think there's too much manipulation coming tomorrow. I think that's the only way to call it. Japan CPI, to be fair, Japan just seems to play havoc with the global economy right now. So Japanese CPI coming at 12:30 in the morning. That could be quite a big one for markets. Other than that, quiet week, to be fair. All eyes on next week for FOMC on Wednesday, and then the announcement at 7 o'clock Wednesday night. Probably stream that live, to be fair. Be interested to see if BNB breaks back into this all-time high. I think this wick will get filled pretty soon. And I think BNB is a strange one. It never really cooled off with the market. It's just been in this steady kind of stair-stepping all the way up. But I think when it breaks out, it could spark something in the altcoins. Probably a good signal for the market as well. And of course the others chart now trapped between two fib levels. Same with the total 3. So yeah, a lot going on. Stable coins continue to rise, which is bullish. Got Bitcoin just consolidating at 118k while altcoins melt around them. Nice bounce back today. I think that's probably us. We might get some manipulation over the weekend, and then into next week I expect FOMC to be bullish for markets. Can't see why it wouldn't be. If you're not in CC Pro, join up. I think Codex Crypto will be joining up if he's not already a member. And I will be back with loads more live streams. We've got some members live streams coming. We've got a podcast and CC Pro dropping this weekend as well. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow night. Another live stream. Get your questions in. Drop them in the chat room in CC Pro or Top Table, and I will see you all then. Catch you tomorrow night.